Hey guys and gals, Joe here, the man who dropped Ken for just another top tier, and I'm here to talk about UFC Fight Night Holm versus Bueno Silva. And I gotta be honest, guys, I got some good news. I wasn't stuck watching a 5-round boy fest. So, enough talk. Let's get to the fights. Main event bantamweight fight between the person I have made a verb out of, Holly Holm, taking on Mayra Bueno Silva. And I had the lowest expectations for this fight. In fact, I was reading a comic book while this fight was started. I was like, okay, let's get this going. I want to be here. While it wasn't great, it wasn't 5 rounds. And that's all I can really be happy for. So first round, a lot of back and forth striking and just whatever, just feeling and everything out. Not a lot of commitment on anything, I felt like. Then the round did end with the classic Holly Holming Mayra Bueno Silva against the cage. So, my hopes and feelings were just at an all-time low seeing that. I was really hoping this Immortal Hulk comic would be, I was like, okay, maybe this gets good at least. Then in the second round, Holly Holm goes for a level change. MBS snatches a ninja choke, gets a tap out win. And the first thing I did, and I actually planned this initially, was to spend 12 minutes just thanking whatever deity is responsible for this and just thanking them. Because I don't know if I could stomach 5-round Holly Holm fights anymore. I think I've hit my limit in my life. 3 rounds, I can probably do another 3 in my lifetime. 3? Maybe not anymore this year, though. But thankfully, MBS saved me from that. And I salute Mayra Bueno Silva, or MBS to make it easier, I salute her. Also, it's good because, the division needs new blood. It needs a ton of help right now. Speaking of that, Juliana Pena decided to inject a lethal dose of cringe into this main event scene by tweeting out, hey, I'm the queen of the bantamweights. I heard you talking about me. You mentioned my name. I'll beat you and Raquel Pennington in the same night. And MBS had a very genuine response to that I legitimately liked. She just started cracking up and was like, I like her, but I'm still going to smash her if I fight her. Good. That being said, I personally don't want to see Rocky Pennington become the Belal Muhammad of this division. Just give her a title shot. Alrighty, she deserves it. Give it to her. Don't jump her. Now for the co-main event, we had the mega hot Jack Della Maddalena taking on a 5-day notice newcomer in Basil Hafiz. Hafiz? I don't remember how they pronounce it already. So did the mega prospect get this incredibly quick finish? Because, the guy's never gone past the first round in his UFC career. No, we said we got a really close but very entertaining split decision. So out the gate, Hafiz is just incredibly aggressive, going at JDM super hard, looking for these big shots and takedowns, trying to mix and match kind of what's going on. And he had some success on the ground, but he was keeping it up when the striking, JDM, known for his incredible boxing, but he was landing good shots there. Second round, more of the same, but JDM is really getting his attention with some hard shots. It's definitely working, and the momentum is swinging his way as the gas tank is starting to deplete on Hafiz. So, third round, final round, Hafiz, his gas tank's shot, and both dudes are just trying to lay it all out still. His gas tank's shot, he's just letting it rip, going out there, throwing the bombs, and JDM's honestly just having super huge success, kind of really pouring it on, good shots on the feet, then good shots on the ground, really looking for this finish, but he really couldn't quite get it, and JDM does take a split decision win. And I think this is a really close fight. I kind of lean Hafiz, because in the second round, while JDM started having that success with stealing momentum back, he did spend a minute and a half or so on his back in that round. So I might be just thinking of that. I've only seen it the one time, but I don't know. Either way, I'm okay with either fighter winning. I just lean personally towards Hafiz. Does this hurt the prospects of JDM? Yes, it does. But I mean, like, you still got unbeaten. If he like goes out there and KOs his next guy, it's fine. You know, that's just kind of my opinion of it. But what about the rest of the card, huh? Was this card that great? Not really. Francisco Prado got a TKO over Atman Izatar in the first round. Junyoung Park got a rear naked choke over Albert Duriov. And the fighter with the funniest results, if you type in her name in Google, just go ahead, type it in. Norma Dumont. She beat Chelsea Chandler, and a really funny moment happened in the fight where she hurt Chandler, and I guess Chandler's controller unplugged. Like someone did the old classic Rooney playing Tekken on the PlayStation 1, unplugged their controller, and she just started like running head first and hit the cage head first. Oh, reminds me of like Louise Kane. Louise Kane fought Little Nog in Little Nog's UFC debut. Eats a left hand, is like, oh, I gotta get away from this, looking back, and then like he flying knees the cage, but it still reminded me of it. Ridiculous. But, you know, it was a unanimous decision win for Norman Dumont. Terrence McKinney got tapped out really quick in the second round, and he's starting to feel like a guy. I think he's almost cemented it, where he can win or lose like that, you know, just in an instant. It's kind of rough. And finally, Eileen Perez got a unanimous, or a huge lopsided decision over Ashley Evans Smith that saw an oil check that was haunting. It was almost as bad as the one Diego was trying to do to Michael Chiesa. It was awkward. I was watching that going, all right. So we're starting off the card. My hopes weren't very high. But now let's talk about some news. You know, we've been experimenting with the whole news thing, and I think it's gone over pretty well. You know, let me know what you guys think. Obviously, let me and Carl know in the comments. But we got some news here. So, some news this week. Jamahal Hill, first off, relinquishes, you know, the light heavyweight belt after suffering a major injury. And I don't know what the injury is. I did see pictures of him, funny enough, earlier in the week of him, like, ballooned up. And I'm guessing that's because of the injury, and that's not the injury itself. Like, I really doubt that his injury is, yeah, I mean, I just really got fat. You know, I don't know if I can do this. Now, I think, I don't remember hearing the exact nature of the injury, but I'd imagine so that it is the injury, part of the injury itself. You know, you can't train, you can't work out. Sometimes if your metabolism isn't great, you know, you just balloon up. That's kind of me. If I drink soda, which I love soda, you know, and I don't work out, which I don't work out right now, I balloon up. You know, I'm a heavy guy for as short as I am. Just kind of how it is with some people. And that really sucks, as the two guys who have the best claim for the belt at 205 are all injured. It's almost like that belt is cursed or something. Like, I mean, back in the day, right, that belt would get dropped all the time, it felt like. You'd have a guy that would snort coke, and then another guy would, like, T-bone a pregnant woman. No, it was the same guy. But in real seriousness, you know, like, Shogun had a serious knee injury after beating Machida. And it, like, he was out for like a good bit, like I think a little under a year. Probably rushed back too quick, I think, as well with that. So man, maybe there is like a curse with that 205 belt. You know, it's got me thinking at least. So what's next? Do you have like I think like the only logical outcome is maybe having Blachowicz or Blachowicz. I want to call him Blachowicz all the time because it's a Castle Wolfenstein thing. Jan Blachowicz against Alex Pereira. The winner of that takes on maybe like Ankalaev. You probably get like the, you know, Blachowicz-Ankalaev rematch, which I don't think was a bad fight. People hated it though. And this feels weird. I have it written down, but saying it out loud is probably going to be even weirder. Johnny Walker. Feels weird saying that, but that dude's, you know, made a pretty decent little turnaround here. I mean, those like maybe like my options there, you know. If I was obviously matchmaking, I would have more resources at my hand, but I mean, I'm a better matchmaker without the resources already, I think, you know. That's what I would suggest doing. I also suggest finding a Catholic priest to perform an exorcism on that belt before it's too late. I think John Jones probably did enough coke off of it. Maybe he like brought back the ghost of Rick James or something. I don't know. Speaking of John Jones, we now have his next opponent lined up, Stipe Miocic. I love Stipe. I'm a firm believer that Stipe is the heavyweight GOAT. I even call him Stone Cold Stipe. It's my own little nickname for him. I think I got that from like Tommy Told back in the day, because he talks like Stone Cold. I'm gonna get me a couple Stipe Weisers. Give me a hell yeah. And but I don't think this is the play at all. He's 41. He hasn't fought since he got KO'd by Ngannou. And while, like I said, he's in my opinion the GOAT at heavyweight. I think his best years are very much behind him. So why is this happening? Why are we doing this fight? Well, Jones wanted it. Well, why does Jones want this one? Because it's probably the biggest name with the easiest risk. It's the least amount of risk. And because I don't think he wants to fight Pavlovich. First off, as a casual fan, how do you pitch Pavlovich? This guy's never been champion. He's been beating everybody. He's been knocking everybody out. But how do you really pitch Pavlovich? That requires effort by the UFC, and they'll be damned if they're going to give any effort towards promoting the fight. So and Pavlovich is dangerous and scary and not a fun matchup for Jon Jones probably. So you don't want that. So this is the easiest big name competition you can really get at this level, at least. Obviously we could see it like Derek Lewis, but this is what we're doing. I feel it really feels like he's just ducking. People are at this stage in the game. Never forget that he ducked Ngannou months before he even left the UFC. Before Ngannou left the UFC, Jon Jones said, I'm not going to fight him unless I'm getting paid like crazy money. Then Ngannou left because he wasn't getting paid, and was like, Jon Jones goes, oh, why isn't money a factor in fighting the best in the world? Dad, you just didn't want to fight the guy. Just admit it. He wants to be the big dog across the street behind the fence. He ain't looking for that front yard play. But that's it for me, though. Don't worry, though, because I'll be back next week. I'll be back next week to cover the O2, the London card. Actually, I always like doing the London cards. I started on the London card, so it's kind of a special place here. Started on with the INC family on the last year. And I get to cover Tom Aspinall versus Marcin Tybura. Marcin, I've heard both. That guy's been around forever. You feel like I would know how to do that pronunciation, right? And with one of the weirdest co-main events of all time, as Julia Stolyarenko is taking on Molly McCann. I didn't have it written down. I'm just trying to go off the top of my head. That's our co-main event, guys. But sure. But at least Tom Aspinall's back. I'm so excited for that. Also, a retro review came out on the main channel. You get to watch me cover UFC 125, one of the craziest fights of all time. It's awesome. So please go check it out if you haven't seen it. I love that one. It was a lot of fun. Really funny editing gag. For me, my personal favorite is in the Thiago Silva Brandon Vera. There's a gag in that I love. I've been showing off all week. But anyways, I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you for watching.